Hi guys, and welcome to the next video on my channel. I'm in a different location filming today because we actually move house on the 8th, which is this Friday, so I had to find the tidiest location in the house. Just a pre-warning, today's video is pretty horrific and researching it was very harrowing, to say the least. I couldn't find many websites that had actually reported on this, but I think it's because this is an American case and I'm here in the UK. Today's case is on the 17-year-old boy who killed his parents so that he could throw a house party. These murders would later be nicknamed the Hammer Time murders. 54-year-old Blake and 47-year-old Mary Jo Hadley had moved to Port St. Lucie 24 years before their death. Blake worked as a watch engineer at the local power plant, and Mary Jo worked as an elementary school teacher, and her past students had described her as being kind, caring, and never giving up on anybody. People described their relationship as loving and not really having many problems. Blake's brother Mike said that he and Blake had been incredibly close growing up and even into adulthood, and described him as a great, generous kid. The couple had two children, their oldest son Ryan and their youngest son Tyler. Tyler Hadley was born on the 12th of December 1993, premature and weighing only 3 pounds and 10 ounces. He had to spend the first month of his life in an incubator in hospital. Friends and family described Tyler as a loving but withdrawn child who kept himself to himself. He suffered with depression and anxiety, and he would quite often give up on hobbies and sports pretty quickly because he was so self-conscious. His grandma Maggie DeVito said that this was because he thought that he wasn't good enough and was a step below everybody else. By the age of 10, Tyler is being treated for acne, depression, and he's taking growth hormones for a thyroid problem. And his grandma says that this caused him to become even more self-conscious because he was worried about being fat. By 11, he's taken part in troublemaking and petty crimes, including defacing public bathrooms, shoe painting people's cars, starting small fires, stealing Christmas lights, and damaging neighbours' property. By age 12, he's self-medicating with alcohol. By age 15, with weed, Xanax, and various drugs. And by age 16, he's taking ecstasy and hallucinogenics. Tyler was often quite mad at his parents because he was always in trouble and so he was always being punished. But aside from this, Tyler had a relatively normal upbringing apart from his parents being rather strict and from his medical problems. 10 weeks before the murder, Tyler was arrested after getting into a fight at a friend's house, and he was charged with aggravated battery. Because he had a previous juvenile conviction for burglary, he was sentenced to 1 week in the St. Lucie Detention Centre and 2 weeks house arrest. 2 weeks before the murder, Mary Jo expressed to friends about how proud she was of Tyler's progress and how well he was doing with his behaviour. And the night before the murder, the three went out as a family for a meal. 2 weeks before the murder, Tyler is hanging out at a friend's house called Marky, and he tells Marky that he wants to kill his parents and throw a house party. Marky doesn't take him seriously, he makes these kind of remarks all the time, and so he just brushes it off. Another childhood friend, Mark Andrews, later recalled of a story about when Tyler was 10, he turned up at Mark's house upset, saying that he wanted to kill his parents after an argument. And Mark told Tyler parents are supposed to annoy kids, and the two laughed it off and Tyler calmed down. On the 2nd of July 2011, Tyler has his phone confiscated after some bad behaviour, and the following conversation happened on Facebook with his friend Mercedes Maxine Marcos. Tyler says, "Lol yup, she's a fat, see you next Tuesday for show, I might kill her." And Mercedes replies, "Oh my god, no, jail," with exclamation marks, or I mean prison lol. And Tyler replies, "Oh well," with a heart. Tyler wanted to throw a house party but knew that his parents would never let him because they were strict. He posted on Facebook that he was working on his parents allowing him to have a house party. 9:40 a.m. on the morning of the party, Tyler has a strange Facebook conversation with a friend called Matt Noble. And Matt says, "Did you do it yet?" And Tyler says, "No, but I'm gonna." And Matt says, "Bet, you really should now, do it." And Tyler says, "Don't worry, I am, and then I'm having a party." And Matt replies, Yeah, party time, and a word I'm not going to say. On that day, Tyler beat his parents to death with a claw hammer. At around 5 p.m, he takes 3 ecstasy pills. He then enters his mum's bedroom where she's sat at a computer desk doing some work. He proceeds to attack her around the head and chest, delivering 36 blows. Upon hearing his wife's screams, Blake runs into the bedroom and there's a 5-second stare between the two before Tyler strikes his dad around the head, delivering 39 blows. Before the last fatal blow, Blake asks his son, "Why are you doing this?" And Tyler says, "Why the F not?" Medical examiners actually said that the parents would have been alive for around 17 seconds to a minute before their death, and they would have known that it was their son that was taking their life. Tyler told authorities that he wrapped towels around his parents' head because he couldn't stand to see their faces. He then dragged their bodies into the master bedroom and covered them in a pile of different things like dining chairs and different debris. He told medical professionals that in the movie-like scene in his head, he would kill his parents, throw a party, and then kill himself. He also told a psychologist that everything had to go that reminded him of his parents, including pictures, his mum's spoon collection, and the bread bin. Tyler would then invite 30 to 60 people, depending on which report you read, to a house party at his house. 60 people partied at that house that night without knowing that just above their heads 2 dead bodies were there. Mike Young was the first person to arrive at the party. He was the popular guy of school and he turned up with a lot of his friends. And these friends were people that liked to smoke weed. Mike recalls Tyler opening the door dressed in all black. And Tyler says to them, "I don't want no one smoking in my house, it's my parents' house," as if his parents were still alive. Mike recalled Tyler being pretty nervous, he was fidgeting with his hands, but he wasn't sure if this was just because of the drugs that he had been taking. Most people at the party didn't know Tyler, they'd just heard about the party through friends and turned up. After a while, Tyler tells his guests that they can smoke inside because he's scared that if they make too much noise outside, his neighbours will call the police and he'll be busted. Everyone's asking Tyler where his parents have gone. He tells people various different locations across the USA, and then he tells somebody that actually this isn't his parents' house, this is his house. By midnight there were over 100 people in the house, and people said that Tyler was acting strange, but they couldn't tell if this was just Tyler being Tyler or whether it was something else. Tyler actually slips up at various points throughout the night and tells people that he has killed his parents or that his parents are dead. The party runs out of alcohol and Tyler convinces his friend Mark Andrews and his girlfriend Ashley to go to the shop with him to get some more alcohol. Now, Tyler gives Mark a wad of $20 notes, which we can safely assume he stole from his parents. But he then tells Ashley, "My dad is dead," and Ashley just assumes that this is because his dad passed away a while ago. A report said that brown liquid was found on the desk, but people just pass this off as coke. A guy called Smock actually went up to the master bedroom and saw that it was closed, and he assumed people were in there getting high, and so he tried to open it, but it was locked. And then he noticed what looked like black oil paint that had been smeared and somebody had tried to clean up. But what he didn't know was that that was actually blood, not paint. As Mark is leaving, Tyler asks if he can have a private word with him, and he tells Mark that he's freaking out because he has killed somebody. Tyler says, "I know you won't believe me, I freaking killed someone." And Mark replies, "Dude, you killing someone is your own business. Don't tell me that sort of thing, I don't need to know." An 18-year-old boy called Ricardo is leaving. He thanks Tyler for a great time and he says to Ricardo, "I'm going to kill myself." And Ricardo says, "Why?" And Tyler replies, "Because I did something really bad." Another friend of Tyler's called Kimberly says that Tyler said to her, "I'm going away for 60 years. And when Kimberly asked him why, he said, "She'll find out tomorrow." At around 1 a.m, Tyler tells his best friend Michael that he killed his parents. And Michael didn't believe him, and Tyler said, "If you look around you can see signs." His parents' cars were still in the garage. If they'd have gone out of state, why were their cars still there? How did they travel? He then showed Michael a bloody footprint in the garage and led him up to the master bedroom. He unlocked the master bedroom and showed Michael inside. Michael saw piles of debris, and sticking out from piles of debris and bloody towels was a leg. Tyler told Michael that he'd listened to the song Feel Lucky by Lil Boozy to psych himself up and taken ecstasy pills as he thought that he wouldn't be able to kill his parents when he was sober. In fact, he actually told Michael that he was worried that he wouldn't be able to kill his parents while sober. Michael obviously panicked, but Tyler continued with his story and said that it took 3 hours to clean, which was much longer than he'd anticipated it for him to take up to clean the crime scene. He then went for a shower, stared at himself in the mirror and laughed. Michael fell out of the door panicking, but didn't leave straight away. He stayed for another 45 minutes, and in a chilling photograph, which I'll put on the screen now, the two boys posed for a selfie after Michael had learned that Tyler had killed his parents. At 2 a.m, all but around 20 guests went to another house party, and this is when Michael left. Turns out this other party was just a rumour, but it did quiet the party down. At around the same time, a neighbour calls the police to complain about the noise. The police turn up and Tyler tells everyone to hide in his bedroom. He convinces the police that nothing's going on, they leave and the party continues. At 4:40 a.m, Tyler posts on Facebook, "Party at my house again, hit me up." But what he didn't know is that Michael had called Crime Stoppers and told the police everything, and they were outside the house watching at around 4:32 a.m. Police said that Tyler seemed frantic, he was pacing, he was moving things from one side to the other. And in a chilling Facebook post, which I'm going to insert after this, a friend thanks Tyler for a good night and says they should chill again, and then around 7:30 he says, "Dude, just seen all of the police tape around your house, are you okay?" I'm just going to insert that now so you can read it yourself. Over 1,000 people turned up to Blake and Mary Jo Hadley's funeral. In a strange letter from prison sent to friends and family, Tyler seems to fluctuate between feeling guilty and wishing he'd never done it to just kind of caring about himself. He quite often refers to the fact that he doesn't want to go to hell and that the devil was inside of him and that it wasn't him that committed the murders. He says he's spoken to a priest who says that if he repents his sins, then he won't go to hell. But then he starts talking about how he wishes that he could be out there doing drugs and alcohol, but it feels good to be sober, so everyone should drink drugs and alcohol for him like he used to party. It's a very bizarre letter. In 2014, he was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. In 2016, this was thrown out and a retrial was set so that they could determine a new sentence. In letters to friends, he brags about being a celebrity in prison. Inmates call him Ham Hammer, Hambo, Hadley Hambo, or Bam Bam. He signs autographs for fellow inmates and for fans, and one read, "I don't know if you're a fan, but you should be. It's Hammer Time," which is a reference to MC Hammer's song. In Oxterby Correctional Institution, he is not well behaved. He smokes weed, he makes makeshift shivs, and he refuses to take part in disciplinary hearings. It came out in a retrial that Hadley had actually hidden his parents' phones so that if it all went wrong, then they couldn't ring for help. He'd also waited until his older brother Ryan had moved to North Carolina to carry out the murders. In 2018, at the age of 24, Tyler is resentenced, and Blake's brother Mike said that this was like a 3rd funeral for the family, having to hear all of the evidence again. Michael Mandel, who was Tyler's best friend, who was actually the star witness in the original case, is in prison for breaking probation on drug charges, I believe. He says that finding Tyler's mum's body and Tyler's dad's body actually ruined his life. He's resentenced to life in prison on the 20th of December 2018. Tom Bakadahi, the Chief Assistant State Attorney, says this.
"I've said this for the last 8 years. If Tyler Hadley doesn't deserve life in prison, then no one does."
His attorney says they're going to appeal the sentence for the minimum of 40 years. That was today's case. I think that this just shows how much mental health and these empty threats need to be taken seriously. I do believe that this could have been prevented, but I'm just glad that his family have got some justice in the fact that Tyler was caught and sentenced.